Okay, welcome back, everybody. Advanced Gardening for Beginners, Volume 3, where you are no longer a beginner. Yeah, if you have listened to me pontificate over these last two volumes and applied even a scintilla of anything that I have put forth, then you should no longer consider yourself a beginner because we are moving into advanced territory here. We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's just dig right in. In this episode, Spells and Moles, Avalon and Khrysalis. So I will go over those spells and those moles. They are both side quests. So spoiler alert, I will show those side quests in their entirety. So if you don't want it spoiled, feel free to skip ahead or skip over those. Then we will go over all gardening spells. I'll give you an overview and sort of show you some of the more obscure ones, how they work. Then I'll show you a maxed out Red Barn farm. Plus, I will give you a dime store tour of the Ever After Village of Botanical Gardens, which are crown houses. They used to be parts of bundles. I don't know if those bundles are available anymore, but I have seen the Botanical Gardens for sale in the crown shop during like a throwback event or something like that. So if you decide you want those or you're considering those, you'll have some sort of idea of what it looks like. Short tour, guys. I'm not going to show you every single nook and cranny of those particular houses. I'll also show you two crown shop houses that you can buy for gold that do not facilitate any sort of 15% modifier that I think are highly conducive to gardening, and I'll explain why. And then we will continue our course talking about couch potatoes and couch potato farming. I'm going to take you to some of the upper worlds, show you some of the fan favorite mobs to farm. And then at the very end, I will give away my super secret couch potato farming location that I have used to probably put together more than 15 69 plot beds. It's a really great place. The drop rate's great. And they do also occasionally drop evil magma piece. So it's kind of an opportunity there to get some of those. So here's your milestones. Reaching rank 15. If you can do it, it's not an absolute, but if you can reach gardening rank 15 by the time you get about halfway into Avalon, you'll be in great shape to purchase Plantall. And you'll notice I have broken these spells out by world now, as opposed to rank. Most of them are rank 15. There are a few, though, between Chrysalis and Avalon that are lower than rank 15. But anyway, these are the spells, and these are the levels around the levels that you'll be at when you're able to actually do these quests. The final milestone will be reaching rank 20, which is Verdant Gardener. It will give you a badge that says that you can then sport if you want to. It's very unceremonious. Those 5 points between 15 and 20 seem to take quite a long time. So by the time you actually reach Verdant, it just sort of happens. There's no balloons or cake or clowns or bands playing. It just sort of happens, and you're kind of like, oh, wow, I'm Verdant, and you're sort of done with it. But that is the end, really. That is sort of the end of the road in terms of things to accomplish in the gardening realm. So Spells and Moles, Roger the Shrubber in Avalon, and Barley in Khrysalis. Now, Roger breaks from the naming convention. It's some sort of pop culture stab at Monty Python, which was, if you don't know, was a popular comedy troupe in the 70s, and Roger the Shrubber is a character from one of their movies, I believe it was Monty Python's Flying Circus. And then on to Khrysalis Barley, he re-embraces that naming convention, Farley, Marley, Gnarly, Barley. So there you have it. Getting to the Shrubber and Avalon. So you're going to need to complete the main quest line up to quest 97 out of 162. And that quest is called Queen of Light Took Her Bow. And then you could go talk to Summer Fieldgold, who is in Caliburn. And I believe he sells decks. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't anymore, but he used to. He is the quest giver. And the side quests are There's the Shrub and Between Two Shrubs. Once you complete those, you will be able to interface with Roger. He will take up his position right next to Summer Fieldgold. I'm going to play that side quest for you in its entirety, and then we'll move on from there.
Hello, are you a mysterious wizard, a questing knight, a virtuous hero, or something of each? You are searching for the Sword of Kings? Who put you on this quest? Merle Ambrose? Of course that trickster would still live. I see you are no full knight yet. You must finish proving yourself before you might be able to wield the Sword of Kings. Meditate at the lightning-burnt tree on Dragon Hill to summon Sir George Martin and ask him to knight you.
Good wizard, could you help me? You've the air of a gardener about you, which is perfect for my needs. I would like something to freshen this place up, to make it more charming and approachable. I require a shrubbery. Could you go into the woods of the high road and bring me back a shrubbery? I will make it worth your while. Very nice. However, I feel it will look a little sparse on its own. Could you do me one more favor and get me another shrubbery? The woods of the wild have taller shrubberies. One of those should work nicely alongside this one. Now I can place these two shrubberies near each another with a nice two-level effect and a path through the middle. You've done wonders for the decor around here, but I'm afraid I have no time for gardening. I must ask another favor. There is a famed gardener, a man named Roger. He is a fair hand with tree and leaf and can care for my shrubberies. Roger has been absent from these parts after tending to a delivery in Dundara. I fear he's run into trouble. Could you find Roger and help him get back to Caliban? See to it that nothing stands in his path, barring his return.
A pestilence is upon this land where ruffians can threaten an honest shrubber. Nothing is sacred. Thank you for your aid. I am a shrubber. My name is Roger the Shrubber, and I arrange, sell, and tend to shrubberies. I am trapped in this region, for there are rude beasts who threaten me. Could you defeat the handsome Fomori to help me? Those creatures will not let me leave this region. So savage are their feelings about shrubbery and shrubbers in general. Defeat a handful of them, and return to me when the path is less perilous. If you think it is safe, I will make my way back to Caliburn and speak to Sumner Fieldgold. I will see that you receive a badge for your interest in gardening and your aid to me. You can collect it from Sumner.
Thank you so much for your help restoring Roger to his rightful place amidst the shrubbery.
And Roger has resumed his rightful place amongst the shrubbery. Okay, so what does Roger have on offer? So he's selling the Putrid Bug Spray, which is a 96-hour rank 1 pest spell. Great for couch potatoes. That's about all it's really good for. I mean, unless you're growing, stuff that only has rank 1 pest requirements. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it's great for couch potatoes. He's also selling miniature blood bats, Plowall, Second Spring, which we'll talk about, and Plantall, which we'll also talk about. Now, if you're going to buy all of these, it's 1,125,000 gold total. I really think you should focus in on Plantall first. It'll really change your ability to garden, and I think it's probably the most important garden spell in the game, at least in my opinion. Now, purchasing Plantall. Now, I'm going to show you this. This is one of my sister's characters. She wanted to purchase Plantall, and you'll notice that Plantall is a 300,000 gold spell. Now, at her level on this character at this particular time, I think was level 76. So her max gold is 300,000, so it's a max gold purchase. So, and I'll also show you the mistake at the end that she made. I did get a comment where someone said they went and tried to get Plantall and couldn't. And, you have to meet that prerequisite. You have to be ranked 15, and you have to have 300,000 gold to buy it. So if either one of those things is out of whack, you won't be able to do it. Now, this is sort of a strategy for getting to that max gold if you're not already there. you know, you want to go in the bazaar and maybe sell what you can sell, drop gear, snacks that you don't need, um, you know, maybe reagents if you don't need them, stuff like that, treasure cards that you're not going to use. Go ahead and sell those until you get close to max gold. Unfortunately, the bazaar will not let you take yourself all the way to max gold. And you'll notice here in a second, you'll start getting errors that say, you know, too close to max gold or whatever. Or there, it won't let you sell because you're too close to max gold. So eventually what you have to do is just back off and either quick sell some stuff to bridge that gap, or you know, go fight some mobs for gold or whatever to bridge that gap as well. And there you have it. So she only needed 16 to hit max, and that's one solution to that issue. So she's now at max gold. And she is going to head back to Avalon to see Roger the Shrubber and buy Plantol. Or so she thought at the time. And guess what? And I have done this before myself, so if you have done this, you're not alone. And this is why she's not quite rank 15 yet. I mean, literally one couch potato or two couch potatoes would fix that issue. So this is what it looks like to buy Plantol. This is that character that I ran it up to level 100 before doing any of this. So you'll notice 400,000 is the max gold there. And he is garden rank 15, so this character can purchase Plantol. Okay, so moving on to Chrysalis. This is Barley. He's in Chrysalis. There is a side quest. The initial side quest giver is Zoltana, the Mirror Mask. She's literally in Bastion, the first character that you're going to interface with. And when the quest is all said and done, Barley will take up a position in the Silent Market, which if you'll look at Zoltana, sort of where her sickle is, there's a cave back there in the background at the end of that path. If you're not familiar with Chrysalis, that is the Silent Market, and Barley takes up a stall in the Silent Market at the end. You got to be rank 15 to get the quest. It won't show up unless you're rank 15. And you've got to complete the main quest up to somewhere around quest 41, which is, you know, not far into it at all. It's really about access. You have to have access to Lastwood in order to do it. I think quest 41 is the access, the quest, that mainline quest that actually gives you access, and it's called Mouse Tracks. So the side quests are Bring the Green, which Zoltana gives, and then it's Better Leaf, Let's Grow, and Putting Down. And those will give you access to Barley and all of the spells he has on offer. So here's the side quest for that. I did cut a little bit out in the center. As part of the side quest, you have to go fight like 5 flame legs. And for those of you who have not done Chrysalis yet, between flame legs and blue razors, it seems like there's an overabundance of fights that involve those. And I really sort of dislike them. Plus, it takes a long time to fight. It's not that they're hard to defeat, it's just lengthy. So I went ahead and cut that out of kind of the middle of this. You'll see where Barley himself asks you to go defeat some flame legs, and then I've cut that entire thing out in the interest of time. So here's that side quest.
Greetings, Wizard. I note your kind disposition hasn't gotten you killed. Yet. One of the effects of the Shadow Queen's curse upon Bastion was great harm to the plant life of the area. Vegetation is essential for camouflage. Of course, others fancy it for things like decoration, food, and whatnot. Now that you have restored Bastion to the burrowers, their health and morale would improve from the presence of a gardener. Go to the last wood and ask Elazar Fireblade where to find a skilled gardener willing to restore some of the greenery to Bastion.
What can I do for you, Spellbinder? First, the bees are willing to talk, and now a mantis asks a favor. These are strange times. But since it is you who is asking for her, I'll oblige. I do know of a gardener, but I doubt he'll want to relocate to Bastion. Barley has been a great friend to us, and we consider him a burrower. We keep him safe, and he helps us keep the last wood alive. You'll find Barley in his garden just around the corner. And, Spellbinder, be patient. Barley can be prickly, but he grows on you.
Your assault on the last wood stops here, you putrid parasite, you shadow-loving goon, you Umbra Legion lick spittle! Today the plants fight back! Cultivated woodsmen, attack!
Barley's getting all hostile.
The woodsmen were only doing as I told them. pests into my garden. Me? Go to Bastion? Not bloomin' likely. I can't leave my garden now. There are still too many hazards to the vegetation. Although, I suppose I might consider a sabbatical if I knew the last wood was in good hands. Prune back the flame legs that have infested the burn to mitigate their threat, and then we'll talk. With the threat of the flame legs lessened, the last wood should be safe enough without me. Give me a bit to collect my things and say goodbye to my beloved plants. I'll meet you and your arachno friend in Bastion. So, this is Bastion, eh? Not much to work with, but I'll do what I can.
So, this must be the gardener.
Yes, I am the master gardener you sent for. Barley is my name. I see I've come just in time, too. The tales of Bastion's grandeur are certainly truthful, but the lack of vegetation here is depressing. There is much to be done, and I will require an adequate location to work from before I can begin.
I'm sure you can find an appropriate stall in the Silent Market. The Spellbinder can escort you there.
Thank you, Zaltana. Spellbinder, let us be off to the Silent Market. I have so much work to do.
I wonder if you decline that, if poor Barley would just be standing there forever. Probably. Okay, this is a silent market, and, Barley winds up here.
Thank you, Spellbinder, for everything. I was reluctant at first, but now I believe I can really make a difference here. My work in the last wood over the years yielded amazing results. I have seeds and gardening spells the Spiral has never seen. They're sure to work wonders here. Come see me if you're ever in need of my exclusive wares.
Okay, so Barley is selling the following: a rank 6 pest spell, Antlion, which kills everything. So if you're going to do like sugar crystals or queen crepe myrtles, something that's like level 6 and higher, you're going to need Antlion for that. Outside of that, probably won't use it that much. There is also Strawman, which is a 48-hour spell, rank 6. 48-hour spell. And then there are the 48-hour needs or growing spells, however you want to call them. So Solar Flares, Monsoon, Beehive, Grow Zone Layer, and Wind Chimes. If you buy all of the spells that Barley has on offer, it's going to set you back 1,050,000 gold. So, I think they're worth it. I definitely think that the need spells are worth it. So as you can get those, get them. They're not an absolute must, but they are a luxury to have. Okay, so let's take a look at all the gardening spells. I'm going to service this 69 plot bed of Tear Blossoms, but I'm going to kind of run you through these spells first. So when you open it up, first thing you have is all garden spells, which shows everything. Then obviously seeds. It's going to show you every seed you have in inventory or on you, on your person or on your character. And then there's soil spells, so small, medium, and large, and the standard soil, small, medium, and large, and the enchanted soil in case you need those. And then we move on to the growing spells, or what I like to call need spells. And as you know, that's single service, services 23, services up to 68, and it's kind of the same throughout thematically between sun, water, pollen, magic, as well as music. And then you get into the 48-hour spells. So music, magic, pollen, water, and sun. We'll look at those in a second. Here's the pest spells. Rank 1, rank 2, or up to rank 2, rather. Up to rank 3. Up to rank 4, and then Antlion kind of kills everything. Itsy Bitsy Spider, rank 6. 48 hours. Fly Swatter service is up to 5. It's not a 48 hour. Then you get into the 48 hour ones. There is no rank 5 48 hour. You'll have to use Straw Man, and then, of course, Summon Pixie. So, when you use the 48 hour spells, do the needs spells first. I find that the animation on some of those pest spells blocks the visibility to some of the icons. And, you know, if you have something that matures faster, which can happen, I mean, it depends. It doesn't happen that often, but it can happen. You may not have good visibility into what the needs are, and therefore you're just kind of like left blindly casting, spells which you choose into your energy. So in this case, we've used Grow Zone and Monsoon, and then now I'm going to apply the Pest spell, which in this case, since they're rank 2, is going to be Bug Zapper. And you'll notice that I still have something with needs, and it's actually the like plant that's on top. And I left this in to kind of show you in case you run into this. What I did was I put that table on top of that tiger lily. And it's too close to it so that I can't cast a spell on it. And for whatever reason, I can't actually get a hold of that table itself to move it back or move it away from the tiger lily to service it. Some people will let their needs plant or likes plant die, which you can do, but personally I don't like to. So here's sort of the solution for reaching something that's kind of out of your reach. Use a rug or like the flatwood platform. You just want to set it down, highlight it, switch relative absolute, pull the sensitivity down. Then you want to use that Z plus side of the arrow. And as you do that, click, 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 you want to move your character back and forth. And, it's sort of a little elevator up where you can actually get some visibility into something that's close to the ceiling like this, since we're inside. You may not have this problem outside, but inside, sometimes it crops up. And I'm just going to move that back so that I can go ahead and service that tiger lily. I don't want it to die for the specific reason is I rely on that button, the gardening button, for feedback. So until I get the all clear, which you'll see here in a moment, it'll go from plants have needs to all's clear. And there it is. So now I know that everything in here, since there's a lot of plants in here, is taken care of. Okay, I'm going to show you Second Spring. This spell is really more for decorated plants that are being used for decoration. So once a plant elders, you can cast this Second Spring on the plant, and it will make it look as if it's if it's like it's mature, but it keeps it in that Second Spring state, and you can harvest it at any time. And you'll notice it says it's in Second Spring, so it just makes it look young as opposed to all gray or blue or white or whatever we would call that color. Okay, now I'm going to show you what Revive looks like. So this like plant or likes plant died. Evil Snow Pea is dead, so I'm going to revive it just to show you what this looks like. It's a one-shot deal, so it only revives one plant. So if you lose a bunch of plants, you know, you're gonna have a task on your hands to revive a bunch of plants. It's not fun to do, trust me. So this revives it, takes it back to, you know, somewhere between the seedling and mature stage, or seed stage and mature stage. And then you can go on to kind of service it like you would any other. Now I'm going to show you plant all, or sorry, plow all. So you're going to need to keep an eye on this before you use it, because it will plow everything in the zone that's not occupied. So every single plot that's not occupied. Now that's 69 there, but it shows 96. So that means that there are some soils that are not occupied. And here's the thing, it will plow everything that's not occupied, not just small. So if you point it at a small and you have mediums and larges that are not occupied, it'll plow those as well. So you kind of be careful with plow all. And here's plant all, so you put down one seed and then you just click and it will plant everything in your inventory up into the amount of plots or pots that you have available. It's pretty easy, point and click. So now that she's filled those in, they're occupied with just some tiger lilies. She's able to go back and perform plow all and get rid of these this experimental plot here, bed that she put together, 69 plots. And voila. So to kind of build on that, and you'll notice this is all good to go. None of it got plowed. You used to be able to use plow all on plants, but they've changed that. Thank God, because I've actually wrecked some plants accidentally using that. Now if you want to get rid of them, you'll just have to use plow, which is one at a time. And you can also get rid of plots one at a time using plow by itself. So that kind of wraps that up. That's the gardening spells. There is gardening TC. Most of it is a duplicate of what you already have, but there are a couple of outliers. There are some that will service all the needs, so they will provide water to every plant. So let's say you had 269 plot beds of the same type of seed with the same exact needs. You could use that as a savings. You know, I'm not really going to go over those, but you'll run into them here and there. And, you know, depending upon what your application is or what you're going to do, you may want those. More often than not, I find that you don't use them. So here's the maxed out Red Barn Farm, and this is the house that we were just in. And you'll notice at 357 of 400, you know, I can go higher. But what I've got here is I've got a production bed of couch. And then I've got a production bed of these tier jewels. But I'm also doing cold storage. So on this other side here, I have some deadly elephant ears that I'm not really harvesting, but I don't want to get rid of them. And because they're medium, I can use the pot pulling method to just sort of store them. Now you can use a seed vault, but if you have seeds that reseed, there's no need to take up the space in a seed vault. You know, you can craft a seed vault or buy it in the crown shop. But, you know, something like this where I've got key limes and then, you know, a few other things in here, I can cold store these and then my production is going to be couch. And this is what I mean by maxed out. And if you're going to do the pot pulling, I'll include links to how to do this in the description. But if you're going to do it, don't go any higher than 3 beds of these with the pots pulled, or you run into problems. Okay, this is the Botanical Gardens tour, if you want to call it that. I'll run you through this thing, kind of give you an idea You'll see how vast it is. It's really sort of a waste of space. But it does provide the 15% light modifier for the house. I've got a few things in here. I've had this thing for a long time, and I did use it quite extensively for quite some time. But I haven't really used it that much recently. I just don't have a lot right now that I'm trying to turn over on a consistent basis. So most of this that's sitting in here is just sort of cold storage, if you will. So on the interior here, you'll notice this is the original Aphrodite, unlike Aphrodite 2, which is the boss that you would fight in Darkmoor in the graveyard. This is one of those little things that you can interface with, and it gives you kind of a reward. It's usually trash, like a level 6 snack and a missed treasure card. It's exactly what I needed. But it does, every once in a while you'll get a seed from it that's, decent. But as you can see, I have expanded this up to the max of 400, and there's absolutely no way you could fill this thing out. I mean, it looks like a freaking indoor stadium. There's just way too much room here. I have seen one of these that was decorated, that was really cool. But, they weren't using it for gardening. But since we're typically talking about gardening, I thought I would just mention this particular house in case you were considering it. And, keep in mind that, for the crowns, you're probably not even going to really use hardly any of it, in terms of the space. There's just way too much space in here. Okay, so moving on, this is the Ever After Village. Also facilitates a 15% like. I don't think I've seen this one sold in as a throwback, but maybe. All of these little buildings like that lighthouse and then that shoe off in the distance, and then there's some shacks up on that hill. They all kind of have their own unique interiors. But I'm not going to show you all of those. It's pretty extensive. We'd probably be here a while. And this is another house I think that's kind of vast for gardening in. But I don't have one of these personally, but she's used it, and like me, kind of because it's a second house that's for gardening. You kind of just wind up back at your Red Barn farm at some point. So something to consider. I mean, if you want one, great. I'm not telling you not to get one. I'm just saying that, maybe temper your enthusiasm just a bit. And this interior is very reminiscent of the Red Barn farm. I kind of feel like they just moved the staircase and, changed the default wall pattern. And this house also has a little rewards interface or prize, whatever you want to call it. The wishing well, and it too, like Aphrodite. Once in a great while you'll get something out of it. But see, fresh asparagus spears at 29 gold. it almost feels like it's not worth going up the hill for it. But in any event, this is the Ever After Village. So 2 houses I like that you can buy for gold. Probably my second favorite is the Myth House. It's 1,000 gold. It comes 250 out of the box. So 250 spaces inside and out. And this outside is pretty conducive to farming. It's got a couple of places where you can, put down some plots. And it's got quite a bit of space, and you can separate those plots enough so that if you are going to use Plantol and you have more than 69 seeds in inventory, you're not worried about cross-pollinating or cross-contaminating the second bed. So it works out pretty well for that. And you'll recognize this interior if you've looked at the couch potato video. Here's the second house. I like this one the best, called the Island Getaway. It also is 250. The interior is only really good for, one, 69 plot bed. But the exterior has space for 2 of these, and then maybe some seeds that are pot pulled. And you can also do wilting in this pretty well because it doesn't facilitate that 15% like. But on the inside, you're kind of just limited to this one room. Okay, so let's talk about couch farming. So this is Mirage. Caravan is like the main landing world. And in Caravan, over by the Mother Gulcher, are the Death Gulchers. I think I called the Troubled Warriors ridiculous, which is true. They are highly ridiculous. But this is kind of your first opportunity to farm at a place that has a decent drop rate. Now, you're not going to get a couch potato every single time, but these are way, way better than the ridiculous Troubled Warriors. And as you'll see, I was told, these are not my characters, but I was told that this was 2 fights, and she gets a couch potato. Now, granted, your luck will vary, and as I've said before, always farm with someone else. You want to have 2 people, so the more mobs you have on Sigil, more things you kill, the faster you turn it over, so on and so forth, the better it is. Okay, so moving up and on in Mirage, this is Yakal Mountain. And these are the Bumbai Warriors. These drop couch as well as evil magma peas, and they do drop evil magma peas. Now, it's not a colossally awesome drop rate, but so far it's probably the better ones that I have found. I'm still working on it. We're trying out kind of everything that's listed to drop EMPs to see if we can find some sort of magical spot that we can share with everybody. But this is a pretty decent spot. You will get EMPs. They do come in waves. They probably have about the same drop rate as maybe the Troubled Warriors do for couch, for evil magma peas. But these also drop couch potatoes. And I was told this was 3 fights, 3 battles. And as you'll see, she gets another couch potato. Okay, moving on to Imperia. This is in the aerial jungle, and these are the monkey spiders. It's another fan favorite. They also, I believe, drop evil magma peas. I don't know what the drop rate is. I don't think it's better than the Bumbai Warriors, but they do drop couch fairly prolifically. I guess I was told this was 10 fights in, so 10 fights and she gets another couch potato. The only thing I don't like about farming these is they do have a tendency to stun, particularly if they go first. But, you know, they're highly worth farming, and I recommend that once you can get into Imperia, or if you can hitch a ride with some people that are doing some farming, and you don't necessarily have access to the world, but you have a membership, you can always get in here and farm these with a group. But again, at least 2 people, I think, is kind of a magic number. But the more the better, and the more drops you'll get. Okay, so here's my super secret spot. We're in Imperia. And what you're going to want to do is go to the stream portal. And at the stream portal, you're going to want to go to the Outer Anthor, or Athenor. I'm always mispronouncing this stuff. Once you go in, it's right in the stream portal. You're going to want to go to that circle that's on the other side of the stream portal, as you see, and you're going to want to fight these. These are the Snow Furies, okay? They literally rain couch potatoes. And their drop rate, while it may not be necessarily higher, you can turn these over so quickly because of the way this little area is structured. All of these mobs will make it to the sigil on time, usually. Not always, but usually. And they are pretty easy to kill, even if you're an ice character. They're not that difficult to kill. As a matter of fact, if you didn't have access to Imperia and you could hitch a ride, I would maybe even recommend bookmarking this and coming back here and farming. Even if you're soloing it, it's not too bad of a drop rate. But here, the more people you have, the better. And this is highly conducive to dropping couch. It's also highly conducive to AFK farming. Again, I'm not advocating it nor discouraging it, but because of the way these mobs are set up, everything sort of makes it to the sigil on time. And you can also just sort of stand and come out of the ghost phase. I'll show you in a moment. And easily all of the mobs make it. And this will give you an idea. So this is 2 battles in, a couch potato. And then stay tuned for the next battle, which I'll show you. She gets another couch potato. So you can see this is kind of the place to go, in my opinion. Hopefully it doesn't spoil it. But I thought I would pass this along as some information and a place that you can leverage to actually build a nice bed of couch. Especially for those of you that have been like farming monkey spiders in perpetuity and getting there, but getting there slower. This is quite a bit faster, in my opinion. I mean, I'll let you be the judge of it. I hope you take advantage of this because I've used it pretty extensively, and I've got more couch potatoes than I need, to be truly honest. And boom, another couch potato. These also drop EMPs, as I mentioned. The drop rate isn't super good, but they do drop them. Okay, well that's it, y'all. Thanks for being subscribers, and thanks for looking at all this content. I hope you guys have gotten something out of it, and we really appreciate it. And it's good to see that there's still people playing this game, because I think all in all, as much as I have a love-hate relationship with KI, I think it's a pretty cool game. And again, thanks. And all in all, at the end of the day, enjoy.